everyone. Hello, YouTube. We're here on Talk and Talk. This is a conversation platform where we communicate in English, Spanish, French, and Italian. This meeting here is not a class. Nobody here is going to teach, to correct, to judge you. It's just a conversation in English. So there is no teacher, just us talking and talking a lot. Well, there are 12 people here, which means a lot. So I'm going to split us in the breakout room so that you can have more time to talk, a more comfortable conversation. So please, I need you in the breakout room to choose someone to read the questions. Make sure everybody's going to have the chance to talk a little bit. Please don't forget, don't talk too much, don't forget to balance your speaking time. Everybody needs to have the chance to talk a little bit here. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this subject. I love this topic, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. We're going to have rooms with 3 people. So I really, really hope you guys enjoy it. I will just balance a little bit here the room. And we're going to start. I'm going to have here in the main room with me, Eli and also Mateo. And in the breakout room, if you need any help, there's a button called Ask for Help. You can just click on this button and I can go to the room to help you if you need anything. All right. Are you ready? Let's go. Don't forget to introduce yourself before talking. And we're going to start right now at 9:50. I will bring everybody back. Okay, let's go. So as usual, we always start introducing ourselves, and I'm going to start with the one I am not familiar with. So Eli, can you share with us who you are?
Okay, sure. So my name is Elineide, but you can call me Eli. I'm from São Bernardo do Campo. I was born here in São Bernardo, but I was raised in the countryside of Pernambuco. And I used to participate in TNT conversation in 2020 and 2021, but in the last year was not possible. But it's a good environment to improve your skills. I mean, conversation skills and vocabulary also. So I'm pretty happy to be here again. I am a process analyst. I work in a fintech. Sorry, in a fintech. What else? I have a pet. His name is Estel, and he's sleeping right now.
Is it a dog or a cat?
It's a dog.
Okay, very good.
And very good.
Very good. It's really nice to meet you and to have you here with us. Let's hear from Mateo now. Mateo, how about you?
Hello, nice to meet you, Eli. So I'm Mateo. I live in Curitiba. I work as a software engineer. I live here with my girlfriend and my 2 cats. Maybe they will walk past in front of the webcam. It's been a while since I have a talk here in Talk and Talk. I think about 3 months. But this year, one of my goals is to be here every day again. In the beginning of 2022, I was kind of active, but I think that a lot of things like work had me put aside Talk and Talk, but I try to go back now.
That's good, Mateus. Did you get a job?
Oh, actually, I'm working as a freelancer.
Oh, no, it's great.
My own company, so I think it's more work.
That's definitely much more. Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Welcome aboard, then. It's really good to have you here with us. Let's hear from Sarah now. You are stunning this morning. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Sarah, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, definitely. That's because I'm wearing makeup, so I'm cheating. Yeah, I'm Sarah. I'm 27. I'm hosted here on TNT. I would like to study languages to develop my skills somehow. I'm studying French, English, and yesterday I started learning Spanish, but I don't know if how that's gonna happen because a lot of things that I don't know. And yeah, but let's go. I have 2 pets and I live with my family for now. But thanks for the compliment.
No,
I need to learn how to accept without saying something like, yeah, just
I
say
feel
thanks.
you. No. I am bad at accepting compliments too. It's okay. So it's really good to have you here with us. And I'm really happy for you in your Spanish journey. Welcome aboard into this journey. I feel you. This is my goal also for this year, to keep studying Spanish and practicing. I am Bruna. I live in São Paulo with my family, and I work here on Talk and Talk as a community manager, not as a teacher. And wow, I've been here on Talk and Talk since September last year, and as a hostess since November. Not last year, right? It was in 2020. Oh my God, last year was 2022. Now I need to change my introduction. So since 2021, okay, that was my first year here. Oh my God. And that's it, guys. So we're talking about podcasts today, and we're going to start with the first question. That is, I want to know from you, if you guys are into podcasts, do you listen to them? What are your favorite ones? And let's start with you, Sarah. Do you usually listen to podcasts? Like, which ones are your favorite?
Yes, I love it because it is so practical. You don't have to stay in the same place listening. For me, it works really well. I like to listen to some podcasts to learn English, some about French as well, because this is the podcast. There is this podcast that I listen that is called Walk and Talk. That is for you to listen while you do other things like wash the dishes or swap the house. I don't know. Very good podcast. I love it. Yes, it is. It is amazing. And we have French, English, Spanish, a lot of languages. So this is one of my favorites because you can listen to the dialogues and you repeat and you have an explanation in the target language as well. And the other that I love it is Inner French. There is a guy that he talks like it is my dream to talk with him because he talks very slowly, but French people are the opposite of that. So it's amazing that I feel like, oh my God, I can understand because he talks normally and the other guys don't. So I love this podcast because he talks about not only about learning, but for example, homophobia, I don't know. It talks about politics, science, a lot of different topics, and it's incredible.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Very good. I am not into French. I don't talk any French, but that's awesome. Thank you so much for recommending. And the other one, like Walk and Talk, I didn't know this one. So thank you for recommending it. I will definitely save here. Today is also a day to get some tips, like to learn about and to find new podcasts. I know you guys are going to recommend nice stuff. So thank you so much, Sarah. And how about you, Mateo? Share with us. Do you usually listen to them? Which are your favorite ones?
I listen to them in some specific situations, like when me and my girlfriend are in the car driving. Uh, we like to listen to Não Inviabilize. I don't know if you guys heard about. Bruna heard about. It's uh, just to explain. It's a podcast where the listeners send their histories, and Daya narrates them, and it's very funny. I think there is some my favorite like quadro, my favorite uh, because it has different categories. It's the one called Luz Acesa. That is,
I love Lusa says it too.
yes, it's terror. I think some terror stories, and I think
Yes.
it's very cool. Aside from Noise Belize, I listen to some other podcasts related to technology. So there's I listen to the Stack Overflow. I will write Stack Stack Overflow podcast. That is a podcast that they bring a lot of news from technology world, from software engineering, and for me it's very interesting. Uh, in, and today I think these two are the ones I listen the most. But in the past, I've listened a lot of other podcasts. Like one of my favorites was Projeto Humanos, that has yeah, that has they've made a series in the last year from the Caso Evandro, and it was stunning. I think it was very good, and I think this is it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mateus. We have like the same tastes in terms of podcasts. I loved it. I love Project Humanos. Yeah, it's definitely like I think that's the first podcast I like really listened to, and I think it was like my first step into this world. And I totally feel you. I love knowing viability too. I listen to it like almost every day, not every day, but
Yeah,
almost every week at least. And I also love Lusa Cesa. It's one of my favorite ones. Yeah, very
yeah,
good.
it's very
I
fun.
don't skip any. Yeah, very good. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And how about you, Eli? Share with us. Do you like podcasts? Which ones?
Yes, I do. I I usually like motivational podcasts, like JJ podcast is a very good one. And there's another one is related to career. Is I'm gonna share this information in the chat, but first of all, I have to check this information. I think it's Talk Paula, like Paula, something like that. Is about career, and I truly recommend this one. And I heard listen yeah, I listen another one, yeah, JJ podcast, great. And I listen another one is from Karina Fragoso from English in Brazil. And this podcast, her podcast is divided by like starter, intermediate, and another one's similar to advanced. And I think is a good way to improve our English. Is English in Brazil. If you can type this, I thank you. And is I don't remember if there's anyone. Any other. But I use podcast. I use Spotify, and I like to listen music. Some lists like trips and relaxing and someone like I like to put one like related to trip, for example, and try to imagine myself in a good trip or something like that.
I love it. I feel it. It's just like the vibes, right? Like the
Yeah,
good
it's
vibe.
very
Yeah,
good.
yeah, very good. Well, I think for me, guys, I must confess, I am such a bad person in terms of listening to things in English, and I have already shared here. I listen to everything in Portuguese, music, videos. Like on YouTube, it's better, but in terms of audios, most of the things I listen to are in Portuguese. So I love knowing inviability, as I was saying. There is one I listen to every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that is called Me Conte uma Fofoca. I am such a person who likes gossip, so they share gossip about everything. That sub-celebrities and nobody talks about, they're going to bring a gossip about this person, and I just love, they're really funny. And I really want to recommend other two podcasts that are about life. There is one called Estamos Bem. Every Monday, they bring a subject, I don't know, random subjects like money, life related things like self-knowledge. It's amazing. And I really want to recommend another one that I forgot the name. Oh my gosh, just because I wanna share with you. I forgot the name, but I will find here. It's basically about life too. And yeah, it's awesome. And oh my god, what's the name, guys? Just because I wanna share with you, I forgot. Para dar nome às coisas. Okay, I found here on Spotify. Para dar nome às coisas. And this, I swear, guys, this is the most beautiful podcast I've ever listened to. The soundtrack is beautiful. She says so many beautiful words about life, about her experiences. It's just amazing, beautiful, incredible. I strongly recommend it for you. Okay, now you already have my recommendations, and I want to know from you the question number 3. What are the benefits of listening to podcasts? And I want to know from you if there are any drawbacks. Are there any negative parts in listening to podcasts? Let's start with you, Eli. Share with us. What do you think?
I think the good exercise about idioms, about language, to improve your vocabulary and listen also. But I usually listen to podcasts when I'm doing something like cleaning up the house or try to organize something like I think is a good way. But usually, if you do something, um, you don't pay attention on the content, so it's a little bit hard. If you decide to pay attention, I think you must be um, focused about the podcast and stop to do anything else. Like, but if you are listening, like you said, some podcast related to gossip, I think it's a good exercise. Listen to a podcast like that, and cleaning up the house. And about negative points, negative. I cannot see a negative one actually. I cannot see.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it was just a question to like make us think, but I loved it. Yeah, like learn something. I don't know, like spend some time while you are doing something to like, I don't know, have fun, right? I think there are a lot of good points, right, on listening to them. And you, Mateo, share with us. What do you think?
I agree with Eli. I think it's a good thing to be doing while we are doing some task that is uh, sometimes kind of boring, like cleaning the house or driving, and uh, we keep our mind busy while we do these things. I think it's great because of that, and we can learn a lot. I think that a, a lot of different point of views from different people from different places. So I think that is one of the advantages. Yeah, the and I think the drawbacks I was thinking now about it. It's I think one of them is choosing a podcast to listen because there is a lot. I think uh, the same with other kinds of media like movies, streaming, and other social networks. I think we feel very overwhelmed today by the amount of information that we see. I think this is possibly one of the drawbacks because everyone can create a podcast and there's a lot of content that we will never listen to all the content available. So you have to choose.
Yeah, I totally feel you. And like I follow so many podcasts and I can't listen to all of them, and I need to agree with you. It's a bit overwhelming, like when you like you want to like listen to them, but you just can't, and you need to choose.
Yes.
And I feel you. Go ahead, Julie, you can say it.
Thank you, Bruna. I'd like to ask you and Mateus to share with us this expression that you've been using, like drop bag, something like that.
Draw Drawbacks, yeah, it's the opposite of benefits. Drawbacks.
Okay.
Drawbacks. That's the one. Yeah, very good.
Okay, thank you.
The chat. No problem. It's okay. Very good, Mateo. Thank you so much for sharing. I couldn't agree more with you. Let's hear from Sarah now. And you, Sarah, what do you think? Can you see any other drawbacks or benefits?
Yeah, I'm trying to, but I don't have anything new to add, I guess. But for me, the advantage is that you can focus a little bit more like it's an exercise for me, it's an exercise for concentration because when I listen, especially when it is about English or French, I like to listen and concentrate because if I have a lot of noise around me, it's hard for me to understand, to get some things, especially in French. And I believe that maybe the drawbacks are not about the podcast itself, but about the environment you are around, the people around you can chat because they think you are not doing something. If you listen to the podcast without earphones, they think you are just chilling. And sometimes you are studying or trying to learn something. But the podcast itself, I think it's great. It's a good way for us to learn. And maybe the fact everybody can create a podcast could be negative as well, because not all people should, in my perspective, because they can share a lot of BS. Oh my gosh, it's that's my point.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, and this is really, I think it's really interesting how podcasts became so famous. I think because of the pandemic, maybe because they exist like, I don't know, it's been a lot of years, and it's nice to see how they are growing. But yes, I totally agree with you. We need to know how to filter the good options for ourselves, right? And I totally agree with you. Like sometimes we are listening to it like without the earphones, and when someone arrives, like it's not like a music, right? That you can like talk and listen to it at the same time. You need to stop in order to pay attention. So I totally agree with you. I loved it, guys. I couldn't think of any other drawbacks. The ones you guys mentioned were awesome. I think the only drawback is that you can get addicted to it and just listen to podcasts instead of doing something else. Like sometimes I don't want to talk to anybody or do something else. I just want to listen to everything. So this is a drawback for me. I get addicted to the episodes. Well, guys, let's go to the next one. I want to know from you, what is number 5? What is the best way to listen to podcasts for you? Like, what is the best time to listen to them? We kind of talked about it, so let's hear from you, Mateus. What's the best time for you to listen to them? And what is your favorite? Like, let's connect number 4 and 5. Where do you usually listen to it? Like, do you have a favorite app? Share with us.
So usually I listen to them, like I said, when doing some tasks that are kind of don't require a lot of concentration. I I don't listen to podcasts while I'm working or studying because I think I lose my focus and but when I clean the house, when I'm washing the dishes, when I'm driving, I like to listen to them. And usually I use Spotify uh, because I think it's the easier option. I've already subscribed to Spotify, so I use it. But in the past, I remember that I used a lot of like I opened a website and there was a player for the podcast there. I think that was something that I think that like 3 years ago is something that I I did a lot. But today Spotify it's my way to go.
Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah, sometimes I listen on the website where I can find the transcriptions. Like there is one I
Oh
love
yeah.
where then it's good because I can like listen and read at the same time. But I totally agree with you. At least for me, like nowadays, Spotify is the easiest version because I listen to everything there. But I have already tried Google Podcasts. It's a good option. And there is another one that I forgot the name. Oh my God, my mind is terrible today, guys. My memory is bad. But it was pretty good because the recommendations were amazing, But just like Mateo said, I used it to feel overwhelmed there because there were a lot of options, a lot about like different subjects. It was good because I met or I found new ones, but it was a bit crazy. Yeah, very good, Mateo. Thank you so much for sharing with us. How about you, Eli? Where do you usually listen to your podcasts? What is the best time for you to listen to them?
It depends on the situation. For example, yesterday I was organizing my clothes and I was listening a podcast, a motivational podcast. But if I decide to listen one in the study time, I prefer to stay calm, sit on the calm place, and take notes and try to memorize something that I consider important. Related to my career or related to language, for example. And I think it depends on the situation, but uh, you have to find your best way, I think.
I loved it. Very good. And Eli, where do you usually listen to? Have you ever tried like different apps or you always listen to it on Spotify?
I've taken notes about the Google podcast because I've never heard about it. And I usually listen my podcast from Spotify. And I'm gonna search about the Google podcast. I think it's gonna be interesting.
Yes, it's interesting to like focus everything on like just one place. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I
The
think
thing.
it's because Spotify. Sorry, I think it's because
Okay.
Spotify is the most famous, no, and I think it's more easier.
Yeah.
But
And
it's okay.
there is something these like streaming platforms are doing is to release episodes like is Spotify podcast. So if you go to any other app, you can't listen to it. Like I don't know how to call it, but it's like something exclusive on the app.
Exclusive. Yeah.
So even if you try to
Mm,
go like somewhere else, you can't find. So they are really smart.
okay.
But it's not with all of them. Just some. So, but it's good to have another app. Yeah,
Thank you.
no problem. Go ahead, Mateus. Do you want to add something?
No, I was just I was just saying that it's exclusive content.
Yeah,
Like
exclusive.
uh,
Perfect. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you so much. Yeah, they are smart. Thank you so much. And how about you, Sarah? What is the best time? Where do you usually listen to? Share with us.
For me, it is the morning and night because it is calmer around here. For example, in the middle of the day, I cannot concentrate the way I like. Sometimes it's just a podcast to, I don't know, gossip or some random things. It's easier to stay to listen. But if I need concentration, I prefer to listen at night, sometimes after lunch because I'm willing to take a nap and it's a way to keep me awake, but I've fallen asleep once when I was listening to a podcast. I should repeat, but I'm not gonna repeat. I'm just going to listen because I'm tired. I'm not just and I fell asleep. It was funny. But anyway, I use Spotify because it is the most popular and I know it is accessible on my phone. So yeah, that's the only app I use.
Very good, very good. Yes, I totally feel you. I must confess, guys, I don't listen to it at night. Just in the morning when I'm doing something like doing the dishes, working, doing some repetitive tasks, like preparing stuff, or when I'm going to the gym, or during the gym, like when I am working out. These are the best times for me. Guys, I want to know from you, if you were to start your podcast like this year, what would you talk about? Have you ever thought of having your own podcast? Like nowadays, everybody's doing it. What do you think of this idea, Sarah? Let's start with you. What would you talk about?
That is an amazing idea if you want to keep a register of something or just try a new challenge, right? But I don't know, I feel like people wouldn't listen to me so much. I'm not so appealing, whatever. But I guess I'd like to talk about subjects, different subjects, but mainly related to languages. That is something that I'm interested about, and I think it's good when you are sharing your journey with others because they can relate, they can learn from your experience, and so on. Another thing that I really like, that is the hair, the journey with hair, like to do the big chop. I used to straighten my hair and now I use my natural hair. So I think I would like to have conversations with other girls, other boys as well, who live this experience, or who are maybe thinking about doing it. So I would like to talk about this, and I don't know, do some research, talk about culture a little bit more, to expand my horizons, because sometimes I feel like I'm too closed in my own bubble, and I'd like to be more accessible, access to other stuff.
Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And I think it would be really nice. There is a podcast, guys, called Getting Curious. Now that's like Sarah said, she would like to expand her horizons. It's really nice because each episode the guy brings someone who understands about something else, like a scientist, like someone who knows something else. And the subjects are so diverse. Like they talk from diabetes to, I don't know, beauty products, like really, really different subjects. And I strongly recommend. It's amazing. And it's basically what Sarah has just said, bringing other people to teach about random subjects. It's awesome. So thank you so much, Sarah. I loved your ideas, and you have my support if you want to start your own podcast about this stuff. I will definitely listen to it. Thank you so much. Mateus, how about you? Would you have your own podcast? What would you talk about?
Actually, in the middle of the pandemic, me and my friends started a podcast. But it was a huge failure because I lost the files. So I remember we did not have any, we don't uh study the structure part of the technical part of recording a podcast. So we did in a way that was not very good. We opened the call in Discord and recorded. And I remember we have talked about a lot of diverse subjects. I think we talk about the. I think one of the main subjects was the pandemic itself. Like I would love to listen to it now, but unfortunately I've lost the files. But we were talking about what was our perspective about the pandemic, when we would end, where does it come from, some things like that, and it was very fun. But unfortunately I've lost it. Today, if I was to make a new podcast, I think uh, I would. It would be something like I choose a random Wikipedia article and react to it.
That's amazing. I loved it.
Yes.
It's really, yeah, yes, very good. You know what? Some I think it was last year, an influencer I follow, she started she created a podcast called Faces. Like literally, she would read the magazine caras and like comment it, like criticize or like make fun of it. But unfortunately, the magazine caras reported her, because of the
It's
copyright, and she needed to
sad.
stop. So I don't know, yeah, but it's a good idea, just like comment stuff. I think it's nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you so much, Mateus. I loved it. And I'm really sorry for you and your loss. I wish I could listen to your podcast with your friends. Yeah, very good. Eli, share with us, how about you? Would you have your own podcast? What would you talk about?
I would like to talk about religiosity because I think it's an important matter to discuss. Is not to bring followers to my religion, because I don't believe that it's a good example, but it was like to talk about the religiosity and how these can bring us a better life, because I believe in God and I have a religion, and I'm very happy with this, and I think it's important to talk about this matter, this subject in these days, because I think people has been lost a lot about their connection with God, and not God about Jesus Christ and something, but spirituality, I think. And if I could choose another one, it will be about process, because I love my profession, and I think I have a lot of things and important things to share, and I'd like to create a podcast about it. And I think it was a good could be a good way, not to earn money, maybe, but I think to learn something, because I like this. My professional is related to learn something and to teach something to people, and I think it would be a good idea.
Definitely. I think it would be nice, and every time I find like podcasts talking about my area, I feel really nice because I get a lot of ideas and insights. So I totally agree with you that it's nice. And about
By the way, what is your area? Do you work with?
I work as an English teacher, but now I've been working as a community manager too. So this is like definitely something I did this year, trying to find podcasts talking about communities. And it was amazing. I am still listening to them, and it was really helpful. So it's good. Yeah. What else, guys? Well, if I had to start my own podcast today, I don't know what I would talk about. I talk a lot, as you can see. Maybe I would bring other people to just like talk to me about subjects, just like we are doing here. Like, I don't know, an interview, bringing some other points of view and perspectives. I think that would be my podcast. Or I would talk about life, reflect a little bit. I like bringing these subjects. So I think that would be my idea. Well, guys, I want to know from you. Now, the last question is going to be about the videocasts. It's the last question. So many people have been releasing videocasts recently. What's your opinion about them? Do you think it's better to watch or just listen to the content? Share with me what you think about it, Sarah.
Yeah, I don't like it so much. I prefer to just listen. For me, the videocast, sometimes it's out of vanity, like they want to appear, they want to look good, and sometimes, I don't know, I prefer just listening. It is the better for me.
Very good. I loved it. Yeah, and it's interesting, because I don't know, the concept have changed, right? Because it's not a podcast, actually. It's a video. So I must confess, I am a bit confused. Like many of them are not that worried about the audio, about the quality, and like just like you said, they are like focused on the image. So I think it's interesting, and I am not a huge fan either. I am I'm learning how to enjoy them, because I think it's new and we need to be open to this new thing. So I'm trying to learn how to like them, not to be so against it. That's my point of view. How do you see it, Mateo? Share with us.
I don't know if I like it, but I think the most part of the content that comes to me, that I consume, it's react re, it's like YouTube videos from people reacting to other people's podcasts. So yes, sometimes it's a video of a react of a podcast. So I don't think I think one or two times I've had actually watched an entire episode of a videocast, but mostly it's like shorter videos of reacts, and I like the reacts, but I don't have much patience, I think, to watch an entire episode. They are I don't know. I think that when we are listening to a podcast, I think the time passes by, and we and and when I am watching it, like a videocast, I feel like I lose that time because I can't do another things while watching and listening.
Good point. I loved it. That's
Yeah.
true. If you are watching it, it's harder to do something else, right?
Yes.
That's the point I didn't think about. Yeah, very good. Thank you so much for sharing. And how do you see these, Elise? Do you like these video casts? What's your opinion? Or it's better just listening for you?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but what is videocast?
Good. It's like a podcast, but they record the video, on it's been like really common on YouTube. So it's not just like you can find the audio on the streaming platforms, but they usually record also, so you have two versions, on video
Okay.
and also on audio.
Okay, just to get used, it's like a short video, but explain a content like a reel, like something like that.
No,
No?
it's not short. It's just the the podcast, but they also like record themselves, so like you can listen to them and also see, so it's kind of video,
Mhm.
but in a studio usually.
Ah, okay, I remember. I like it, but I think is interesting when you see my case, for example. I gave you an example about a podcast is JJ podcast, and I remember that there is two ways to listen the content about a podcast. I mean, on Spotify and on YouTube. And I think that is interesting when you see on YouTube, because you see the expressions, the way the people look, the like when they are saying something is totally different from Spotify, for example, because on Spotify you just listen, but on YouTube you listen and you see the expression. I think, but I I think it's the same. It's the same. I think when you listen in Spotify, you can do anything else during your listen. But if you decide to watch like a video, you have to stay in front of a screen just to pay attention. And I think Spotify, podcast is better, but it's my opinion.
Yeah, I totally hear you, and it's like what Mateus was saying, right? Like if you are doing something else, it's hard to watch, right? Yeah, very good. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm heading to the last question now. Okay, that is question number 7. What kind of podcasts wouldn't you listen to? what subjects are you not interested in? So you see something like, oh no, I wouldn't listen to it, this is not my type of or this is not my cup of tea. I won't listen to it, Sarah, let's start with you. What is something you wouldn't listen to?
That is a tough question. I haven't thought about it before, but maybe something related to, heavy metal, that it's type of music that I don't listen to. I'm sorry if we have fans here, but I don't have interest in, I don't know the artist like so well, so I wouldn't listen to know more about someone or some lyrics of a song, for example. So that's the only thing that I can think now. Maybe something related to way more specific than biology or a concept that I'm not familiar with and I couldn't understand very well. So I prefer to listen to something that I can relate, and I can understand and I can, oh, I see what your point. But if I don't know, it's hard for me to listen. I can challenge
Yeah.
myself, but it's not the better way in my perspective.
Yes, very good. Very good. I liked it. Well, I was thinking of what Eli was saying. I think I wouldn't listen to a podcast about religion is specifically, I think I would like listen to something related to faith, maybe, or to spirituality, just like she was saying. But like, I know there are some like misas. I forgot how to say this in English, but like some episodes like these, and I think I wouldn't listen because they are. I don't follow these religions, so I think it wouldn't be that interested for me. It's not my focus. So that's the one for me. How about you, Mateus? What is a podcast you wouldn't listen to?
The only thing that I can think now it's podcasts from, and I think this is kind of a problem because podcasts from different politics points of view from mine. I get kind of irritated when I listen to them. I think that's why I just watch the reacts to those podcasts because then it's more funny. We can laugh together from the people that we don't agree with. But I think it's kind of bad because it makes me be trapped in my own like social bubble, and I think there is this problem. But I don't like. I wouldn't listen an entire episode of something that uh, from uh, from the opposite uh, political view.
Something you don't agree with, and then
Yes,
you
yes. I think it's kind of painful to listen.
yes, that's suffering. I totally feel you. Yes, very good, very good. But it's nice to. I think it really it. I totally agree with you. It's hard because it's comfortable to be in our bubble, but at the same time it's painful, just like you were saying. So I totally
Yes.
defend you. Yeah, very good. And Joely, what is a subject you wouldn't listen to?
Criminal. Never.
Really?
I don't like it. I like to watch the news, like Global News, CNNs, and so on. But as soon as I realize they are talking a lot about crimes and violence, something like that, I try to put in another channel and try to move on to another, environment. We know that unfortunately there's a lot of bad things happening in this world, like war in Russia, Ukraine. But I think it's part of our behavior to try to get and to do something good and better, not to focus on this kind of thing,
Yeah.
Try to think in good vibes, in good things.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't ever never ever
I-
pay attention on a podcast like that.
Very good. Thank you so much. And I totally feel you. And I must confess, I love true crime podcasts. I forgot to mention here, but I know it's bad, I totally agree with you. It's not nice, but I don't know why. I like to know about the stories and everything. I am a bit busy, but it's okay. Welcome back, guys, from the breakout room. Hannah, how was the conversation? Are you a podcast lover just like me or not too much?
Yeah, it was a good conversation. I like to listen to podcasts, some subjects like financial education, technology, and I like to another kinds of entertainment like flow, inteligência limitada here. And I share a podcast with my friends called Calypso. It's a good podcast to learn English.
What is the name? Can you share it with us?
Calypso. I will write down here in the chat.
Okay,
Calypso.
guys, if you guys want to share a tip here in the chat, like a podcast you strongly recommended, I will make a list of the tips I got here in the main room and I will share later with you. Okay, so if you wanna type right now the tip you have, this is the time. Okay, thank you so much. And it's really good to know you are a podcast fan just like me and the guys here in the main room too. And thank you so much for the recommendation. Murilo, how about you? Are you a guy who listens to podcasts? What is the subject do you listen to or not?
I listen about technology, about economy in general. I listen about I put in always English for learning English nowadays. Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Very good. What is the tech one do you listen to?
And tech about the AI and YouTube. In the past I listen in Spotify, but now I listen on YouTube, because I subscribe YouTube Premium, and I made the download and put in my daily in another
Very good.
situations. That
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much. Hannah, can you share with us which one do you listen to that talks about finances? Eli is asking, like, which one is it?
I don't remember. I think it's dois sócios in Portuguese.
Awesome.
Let me know. I will search here.
That's good. That's good. A lot of recommendations, so we can learn about many things, right? Podcasts are amazing. Let's hear from you, Ricardo and you. Do you listen to podcasts? We've never talked about it here.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of, because I was talking with my colleagues. Sometimes when I go to the gym or go to the supermarket or driving a car, is so nice to listen to some information. But my wife and daughter hate, but I love. So it's just possible to listen when I am alone, but it's not possible to listen, for example, in a car.
I got you. Very good. Yes, same here. I just listen to my podcasts alone, and like sometimes I share with some friends. Like, look, I have just listened to this and that. So it's good.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. Guys,
Thank
we are
you.
running out of time. Oh my God. If you guys want to send your recommendations, you can do it here or send in, I don't know, on the WhatsApp group, whatever you prefer to, you can do it. It was a big pleasure having you here this morning, Sarah, Eli, and Mateus. Thank you so much for being so nice in the main room. I really hope we guys have an amazing 2023. This was the first immersion of the year. Next week, we are talking about rituals. This month, the immersions are still for free. So if you're not part of our plans, you can join us this month just in the immersions. All right. If you want to send your feedback, here we have the link I sent. This is the last link I sent. Give suggestions, ideas, things you want to talk about, complaints. You can say whatever you want. Thank you so much, Leo, Edna,
Okay, thank
Murilo,
you.
Renan, Bruna, Ricardo, Eli, Sarah, and Mateus. I really hope to see you here tomorrow.
Thank you, Bruna.
Thank you,
Have a
Bruno.
great
Have a nice
day.
day,
Thank you,
people.
Bye-bye.
Bruna. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.